Felix here, and welcome to this pre-market stream. Greed is good is the mood today. Goldman Sachs telling us to buy, and buy some more. We'll run through what exactly they're telling us to buy and why they think this is just the beginning of another beautiful rally to come. Felix got us back. Nothing in the back. We're not a bag holder anymore, which is nice, isn't it? Lowell says, I can't wait for this one. I look forward to all his videos. That is very, very kind. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. As I appreciate the likes as well, because it'll help spread our message a bit more and therefore can help more people. Let me share with you what I put together for you in terms of research here pre-morning. And we'll talk about ASML as well. That's definitely on the list. But first, Goldman Sachs, the lovely bankers that we all want to go and hug and kiss, they think that the S&P will be well north of 6,000 by the end of the year. 6,000 plus is what they're saying. Why, oh why are they suddenly so bullish? Well, next week, and I need to put that out there first, is a big deal. 37% of the S&P by market cap, so everybody who's important, reports next week. So next week really, 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 really matters. Now, audio is still horrible. Really? I've used a different mic today. That's weird. Is it horrible for everybody else too? Let me know. I literally swapped mics today. I thought that might fix the trick. Expectations. Earnings expectations. And that's what it's all about. Expectations are quite low because they've been revised down for the last couple of months. That should make for a pretty easy beat unless you are ASML. Audio's okay? Okay. Audio's good? Okay. For most of you, it's good, which is good. Some of you are getting an echo. Okay. All right. We'll take a vote on that in a second. Now, imagine for a moment that you would no longer do this madness where you buy at the top and then you exit at the bottom. Have you ever done that before? Most people keep doing that. If you want to learn how you actually spot the original breakout, and it's much simpler than you think, there is actually a rule to it which has been around for decades, then, and I love that in banking, then I'll teach it to you completely free of charge. All you got to do is head over to felixprehn.org/get-free. Link is also down below, and watch the 30-minute masterclass I put together for you. It might be 35 minutes. I talk a lot. So write down that felixprehn.org/get-free or bookmark it and do watch it after the stream, of course, because you wouldn't want to miss a second of this, would you? Sounds like buffer failed. Bigger buffer. Audio clicks has been in your videos for a week now. I know, that's why this is literally a different mic. Interesting. All right, I appreciate your feedback because that's the only way I really find out. I can hear it too, of course, but not live. Now, the real reason I think Goldman is bullish, and I mentioned this previously, is that we've got about $1 trillion in buyback authorizations. That means buybacks that haven't happened yet. They're still going to happen. And too high input level, yeah, hang on. Too high input level, yeah, just not really. I can see it here, maybe a touch. Okay, I can back off a little bit from the mic. That might help because there's a different one from yesterday, so the settings might be slightly different. So the question, of course, then is, well, which companies are going to buy back most of their stocks and when, right? When are they doing it? I want to know. Well, here's the answer to that. When do they buy? The percentage of annual buybacks executions, when the heads come off, 21% of it happens between November and December. That is the biggest buyback season of the year. Guinea, you still get those click static things. Weird, because we've tried different cables, different mics. Very weird. But thank you for the feedback. I don't know, burn down the building and rebuild it or something like that. We'll find a solution. I'm talking to the chaps at Road who are usually quite helpful. And there is more good news. So this is good news, right? Biggest buyer in the market. Buybacks are coming on stream in November and December, right? Good news. You've written that down, which is good. Sounds like a buffering issue. Interesting. Thank you for letting me know. updating or even rolling back audio codecs. Yeah, I've reset most things, Chris, but I appreciate that. Thank you. People are too mic temperamental, says Hugh. Okay, no, but we want it to be perfect. I appreciate that. That's always the goal. Be as good as you can be and then get a little bit better, right? So the largest seller in the market, and I warned you about that, I think in September or August, and I said, watch out for these guys. Mutual funds, party poopers, their year end is on Halloween. Yes, seriously. And they manage a lot of money. And because they report at the end of December, they tend to be sellers into that season, tax reasons and so on. And they don't really sell they sell very little in November compared to October. October is their biggest selling month. So that goes away after Halloween, which again means November should be glorious, right? Which is exactly what we want. But there is more good news. I told you there'd be a lot of good news here. Reset your vocal cords. Does that work? It happens when the volume of your voice increases. Sensitivity issue. Okay, Nick, I appreciate that. I appreciate there's some audio people on here who know a lot more about this than me. Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. It might be, I don't know what it is. It irritates me very much, I must say. Do we have any funky filters on? We have some, yeah, we haven't changed any of them. So, noise suppression or something like that, maybe. Maybe my voice is too much like noise. Anyway, we shall persevere on and try and fix it one way or the other. Probably have to reset the whole bloody thing. Reset Felix. Yes, there must be a button somewhere, right? In continuity. That's a posh word there, Peter. Anyway, let's go back to making money. Households, that's you, buy most of the stocks they buy during the year. Guess what? In November. Why? I have no idea, to be honest with you, but they do. They buy a lot in November. January and April are also big months. Might have something to do with tax season, possibly. November, I'm not quite sure why, but it seems to be a thing. It's a big thing. So historically, they buy quite a lot. And therefore, again, you should expect some inflows into stocks in November. And expiry, if I could spell, of T-bills. Basically, okay, interest rates come down. So what happens? Lower interest rates. You're therefore less tempted to buy government debt, right? Because it pays you less. So if we just let it expire, so to speak, we just don't do anything with it, we just hold on to it, the amount of money that's going to flow into ETFs and mutual funds will be tremendous. I mean, absolutely tremendous. If you start selling them off, which would make a lot of sense because the value's gone up and you're getting less interest, then that would happen even quicker. So there is that whole $4 trillion sitting on the sidelines, which will at some point start flowing into the market. Maybe not this week, maybe not next month, but at some point will definitely happen. Pulchritudinous. What? Rolling back to last month's NVIDIA drivers for your GPO. That's an interesting suggestion, Chris. Interesting. Sounds like warbling, says Aaron. Yeah, something like that. Paul is late. It's a service provider. Need to check the building Dropbox. Knock down the whole building. That's what I say. So yeah, we had Wi-Fi issues last week, and this week we have mic issues. It's a funny world, isn't it? We managed to make a load of money, but we struggle with a microphone. You'd think that would be simpler, but it's not actually. So where are we right now? We're here. October, is it 15th? It's 16th, isn't it? But anyway. And by the end of the year, historically, we go about 5% higher on the S&P. In election years, it's more like 7 or 8%. Pretty big move, right? Till the end of the year. What about our favorite little tech stocks? Well, it actually is a lot better than that. Typically, we go up about 12% from here till the end of the year. As I mentioned about 4 weeks ago that I started buying the NASDAQ. Did you hear me say that? I did, and this is precisely why. We're hoping to capture those 12% and then some. Swallow some electrolytes. All right, we'll do that. Sound is fine in Canada. Why does Canada celebrate Thanksgiving before everybody else? Is it because you are special? I'd like to understand that. Let me know in the chat. So 12% on the NASDAQ, that would be quite sweet, right? Till year end, that'd be a very, very nice move. Almost as nice as discovering something like this. Did you spot this? This is the stock is Rail, which I'm sure you will all talk about endlessly. And guess what? It had the most beautiful textbook classic breakout here that I was literally just recording a lesson on that, using that example because it's absolutely spot on. And if you'd like to have known how you could have gotten in on that at about $3.50, whereas right now it's trading at $11.70. It was bloody obvious. It was in the stars. It was all there. All the hallmarks of the perfect breakout. Then just learn how to spot those breakouts, because if you learn how to spot those breakouts, I believe you could beat the market. I think a lot of people could beat the market. So you might be dubious on that. You might be doubtful on that. Well, check out the masterclass I've created for you. It's about 35 minutes of just loveliness and information and the 4 rules that you need to spot those breakouts. So go to felixfriends.org/get-free. Watch it for free. And that masterclass will go away fairly shortly. Once you watch it, you'll understand why. So check that out. Write that down and go into it afterwards. Now, ASML really, really tanked yesterday, didn't it? Look at that. Look at that. Not a pretty sight. What is it, at $150 or something? And what's the reason? Trade restrictions. They're basically biting. So they're having trouble exporting things to where they want to export them to. Now, if you'd bought ASML at the beginning of 2022, you'd be down 3% right now, which is pretty sad. If you'd used our lovely little indicator in Trade Vision, links down below, you'd be up 32%, which is good, despite the misery of yesterday there, right? Still 32% up. So maybe check out Trade Vision. Now, I thought there was something else at the bottom end of this. Oh, yes, there is. Did you see our buy signal yesterday emailed out to everybody in the world? I put it on Twitter as well. SoFi. Finally, a buy signal from Trade Vision. We haven't had one since 2023. Well, really properly since June 2023. And it's calling it here, which makes sense because we are just about to break through the December highs. We've really gone sideways for a long period of time. So I'm not saying this, you should therefore buy it, any of that. I mean, we bought it a lot earlier. I certainly did. But very, very nice to see SoFi doing what we want SoFi to be doing. What did you buy in NASDAQ? I bought an ETF, William. Now, I don't buy QQQ. The reason is I'm not a US taxpayer. Well, I do pay some US tax, but my investments are not subject to US tax. And if I hold QQQ, and if I get run over by a bus tomorrow, I have to pay US estate taxes, death duties, and I'd rather not. So I bought a Swiss-listed ETF instead, because the Swissies don't have that, which is kind of right nice of them. Aruna says, thanks to Kickstarter, was started by the Canadians in 1578. Okay. And no one's disagreeing with you, so it must be true. Goose is still not vegetarian. No, it's not, is it? Voice is cutting out now, says David. Oh dear. Oh dear. We haven't fixed the voice issues, which is incredibly irritating. We'll work on it. We'll figure it out somehow. I don't really know how, but we'll do our best to do that. I wonder if it might. Maybe I should take the volume down a touch. Maybe that is better. What do you think? Which is the Swiss ETF, Stuart? I have absolutely no idea, to be honest with you. I'd have to look it up, Stuart. If you drop me an email, I'll gladly look it up for you. I can't remember. It's just honestly, whatever the cheapest NASDAQ ETF was that's listed in Switzerland. That's what I bought. So you're still bullish in the short term with the mutual funds selling. Well, they're going to stop selling by 31st, which is nice. And then we're going to get all that lovely money rotating in, right? Like what we just ran through. I mean, I'll run through it very, very quickly for you again. But it's $1 trillion of buyback authorizations out there, $1 trillion. When do they buy? Most of the biggest buy period is November to December for buybacks. That's a lot. And mutual funds are done selling by October 31st. So that would be nice and stable. And households buy most of their stocks in November, well, a lot of them. January and April are also good, but they buy a lot in November. So that'll be helpful. And we've got all these T-bills expiring, and that'll be helpful. That'll be supportive. And the S&P in an election year typically goes up 7% from here till the end of the year. The NASDAQ goes up 12% from where we are right now to the end of the year. Hence me being bullish on the NASDAQ. So quite a lot of stuff happening there. And if you pack all that together and you go and watch my masterclass, you hopefully be able to spot out some very, very nice breakouts the way we do it, and just learn the patterns of the market to beat the market, which is all what it's about, right? Pay your cable bill. Did you stick more RAM in the laptop? It's a desktop, but no, I haven't done that. But I doubt that's it, to be honest with you. It's something weird going on here. Do you think ASML is a buy? Well, let me turn that question around on you. Do you buy things as they collapse? You have some inside wisdom there, and you think that it's overdone, then maybe, but we've got another gap down here this morning. We're trading down here at 698 after that terrible collapse. So we're back to December levels, and I would therefore say stay the heck away from this one. We did have some nice buy signals yesterday. SoFi being one that certainly pops the list there. Riot, a lot of the Cloudflare, Clover was a buy signal yesterday. EA, Electronic Arts, for all you gamers out there. Anything else big that we care about? No, not really. Anything that we said run? ASML. That said run, which makes a lot of sense. And AMD, some Chinese stocks, KWEB and so on. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are. On the overall, and let's look at some of our favorites. The S&P is still looking pretty sweet. Very, very nice, actually. NVIDIA is down a bit, but not that significant. And we're up pre-market again, which is nice. And we continue to beat the buy and hold strategy on NVIDIA, which I'm astounded by, to be honest with you. Buy and hold since beginning of 2022, 256% up. We're up 274%. That's pretty extraordinary, isn't it? We to beat something that goes up that much. QQQ down a touch, recovering a bit this morning. Nothing to worry about yet. I would say the uptrend is still very much intact. We look at Tesla. Modest recovery continues. You can see that here, which is nice to see. 220, I think, was the support, wasn't it? Let's have a look. Is that pre-market, Stan? Yeah, this is pre-market. So we always show pre-market prices here. So support is actually, wow, it's actually down to 200. I guess people got a little scared there. But 3 days in a row, stability, I would say. We're moving very much at the same sort of levels, which is good. So nothing terrible happening there. Volume dropping off, which means people are bored of selling. That's quite a good thing. You kind of want that. On a sell-off, you want your volume to collapse to show that there's no one left to sell. And that's what you need to recover. And by the way, we've beaten buy and hold on Tesla since the beginning of 2022 by about 125%. So maybe check out Trade Vision and check out a little indicator. Now, will the indicator in itself make you money? No. No, you need risk management. Without risk management, you're toast, basically. So, do you go through the Trade Vision for buy stocks and check for the patterns? Yes. I also do this. I have a script which runs here. I literally just hit run on that, and that goes through 174 sectors, about 2,000 stocks for me. And then it pulls up, creates stock charts for me, which I haven't gone through yet. And then I scan through these about once a day or every other day or so. And I see if there's something in there that fits my pattern. I mean, it's meant to. That's the way it's designed. That looks kind of interesting. So there's some things that I will then go through, and then, we might do something about it if it's a meaningful move, and we are going to put all of that into into a stock trading program that we got launching on the 28th of this month, which I'm very excited about. If you want to know some more about that, check out the masterclass here at felixprehn.org/get-free. That's really the best way to learn more about that. And I will also teach you how we spot those breakouts. I'll give you the actual rules, so you'll actually learn something as well. But yeah, very excited about that. And I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be great. And I think we're going to help a lot of people make a lot of money, which is really the goal. Get to financial freedom, really get to enjoy life. So that's really what the plan is there. A personal screener, then yes. So I employ a data scientist, as you do, and he's an incredibly smart guy, and he simplified my system through a script, which makes a lot of sense. So it just cuts down the research time from probably about 2 hours to about 15 minutes or something like that. And I'll share those charts with the guys in the stock trading or stock investing program. It'll be for traders and investors both. So check out masterclass if you're interested in learning some more about that here at felixprehn.org/get-free. Now, can you take a look at NVIDIA? Absolutely more. NVIDIA, actually, we just did that, didn't we? We just looked at NVIDIA, and we can pull up the detailed chart here, or just go to tradevision.io and check it out yourself. We got some boxes drawn in here. The boxes are resistance zones, typically. We are right now trading here at 133, which is sort of in the general range, still slightly up from the buy signal we gave on the 8th. And obviously our buy signals it's an indicator, right? No indicator is infallible. It's not the Pope. And therefore it'll get it wrong sometimes. And if you have good risk management, you'll be fine. If you don't, you'll be screwed. So please learn risk management. Of course, we teach it. Resistance, it's still up here at sort of 140. So nothing really urgent there. I think it's just a question of chewing through the ASML data and realizing that that's largely export restrictions and probably front loading of orders. I think that's a lot what's been happening, right? Because the export restrictions were obvious that they were going to come. So anybody who wanted ASML equipment bought it in advance. And I think that's a little bit what's slowing them down. Now, LVMH, yeah, that looks a little sad, doesn't it? Winston is infallible. He is. You know, he did a 20-mile hike today. Seriously, 20-mile hike today. He's got a lovely auntie who looks after him as well, and they go hiking a lot together. I go hiking with him too. And I said, this guy is getting a little chubby. Could you go for a hike with him every day? And they've been doing that. And I saw the screenshot tracking today, and I'm like, you did 20.5 miles? You did 5.5 hours of hiking on a Wednesday? And they're like, yeah. And they're both lying there like exhausted. He's absolutely pooped, but he loves it. So LVMH, bit of a tumble. We're back to, November 2022 levels. There is just a bit of a, party pooper in the whole luxury sector at the moment. And I mean, fundamentally, I still think it's an amazing business. It's just we've had a bit of a, actually, it's probably the best head and shoulders pattern we've seen in a long time. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, down. So where do you then get told to exit? You take the armpit, both armpits, and you draw a line. Right? And then if you are a bit more of an active sort of trader, you get out when you break below it. So this would have been the point there when we should have gotten out, basically. So again, every crash comes with a warning. And every crash is actually predictable if you know what to look for. So if you want to come and learn what to look for, watch the masterclass at felixprehn.org/get-free. Where is it? There it is, felixprehn.org/get-free. And I teach you that stuff because it is actually obvious. Literally, there's never been a crash that I've seen. I mean, 1929, 1987, any of those that wasn't predictable in advance. And the smart people got out because they followed the rules. So come and join the smart people. Guinea pig wants me to look at drug. What is drug? I don't have that on here. What is drug? Right Minds Biosciences. Oh, this. I I don't know. What did they invent? Cured cancer or something overnight? Something like that. Interesting chart. What's the news? Some sort of FDA cleared something or other. Yeah, no idea. No idea. Now, was that predictable? We have to hard to see anything beyond that bar, right? Let's see. Look at that. There was a lot more volume yesterday. Did we break through the 50-day moving average? Yeah, we did actually. So actually, yeah, it was predictable on Monday. Why does that happen? Why does that happen the day before the breakout? People always know stuff and they trade. Insider trading is still rife. I mean, to some extent. So that's probably why. But today it's collapsing 25% down. So it's a bit of a volatile one. It went up 1,500 percentage points yesterday. So I would be a little cautious on that one. Is DJT a meme stock? Yes. And A to Z there, my friend, you are precisely why I'm putting out this masterclass. Because you write, literally, I bought Tesla at 250 and I'm down 12%, gotta hold. And it's annoying, isn't it? It's annoying to buy there. Now, the actual entry point, where was the real last buy? It was here. It was here at about 198. That was the real last buy. And then the exit was up here at 247. There hasn't really been another proper entry point since a rules-based level. So you want to set up rules for entry and you want to set up exit rules so you don't bag hold stuff for ages. I love Tesla. I think it's going to do tremendously well, but it might take some time, right? So having a lot of money tied up into something that might not move for ages costs you money because you're missing out on other trades you could otherwise do with that money. And that's really what I want to get out there in terms of knowledge. So please watch that masterclass, my friend. Here it is, felixprehn.com/get-free. Your input is too high. Turn it down if you have. Your output up a little. Interesting, John. Okay, hang on. Advanced audio properties. Our input's actually already a little lower than it usually is. There is something funky going on here. I might have to find a sound engineer to do something about that. I suggest a masterclass in audio. Yes, very much so. It's honestly, audio is really, really freaking tricky. It's the most complicated thing ever. I've gone through a few mics. This thing has been very, very reliable, which is why I liked it, because it sort of takes care of everything. But it's failing me, bastard. How about setting up a trade for TLT now? Let's have a look. TLT. Let's look at the chart, right? Look at nothing but the chart. Chart typically tells you everything. So what do you see when you look at this? The yellow line is your 50-day moving average line. I generally don't buy anything below that. Your 150 is, okay, we just broke out of that. That's positive. Volume is flat down here. Can you see that? The volume, it's pretty flat. There's no real momentum for that breakout. What does a real breakout look like? This was a breakout here. That was a breakout. You see the volume down there, right? That really went up and then some. At the moment, I wouldn't say this is a breakout. Gap up is positive. We might see another gap up here today. So it could be, if we get a bit more volume today, could be the beginning of. But I'm cautious to buy things with a 50-day moving average line that slopes down. Don't like it. And our intention isn't to find every entry point. Our intention is to find the breakouts, the big ones, the really, really juicy ones, because that's what makes us money, and everything in between typically ends in tears. So there we are. Markets are just opened. Let's have a glance, shall we? We'll run through briefly here NVDA. Actually, we can do that in here too. NVDA. if I may. Let's look on a minute chart here. This is pre-market. This is just looking all right. 133.56, pretty decent. Let's look at Tesla. That looks pretty sweet, doesn't it? Bit of a recovery above 221 here, which is nice to see. That's the highest we've been since, well, the 15th, early in the morning. Anything else you want me to look at? Maybe Palantir, see if that's still flying. People are really mad about this one, aren't they? They're like, it's too overvalued. It's crazy. Do you realize what you're doing? It's at 42.30 cents, $42 and a bit, $42.06, which is decent. Anything about $42 we'll take. SoFi, which has been on an absolute tear, and I think it's just the beginning. What did I click? What did I do? What did I do? I did the wrong thing, didn't I? SoFi. Can I fix this? No. I broke it. I broke it. No. Okay, there she is. Trading at 10.22. Good enough for me. Stay above $10 for the rest of the week, and I think I'll be very, very happy. Our little buy indicator triggered yesterday, which didn't buy and hold by only 95% since the beginning of 2022. That doesn't mean that this one's going to be right, but we've done quite nicely. Anything else? PayPal, maybe? We have 249 likes. We have 1,300 people watching. That means 1,000 of you were either drunk, hungover, or very dubious about the quality of the stream. I leave that up to you. PayPal is trading at $80. Yay. And it's going sideways. Didn't I say it was going to go sideways at $80? I said it was going to go sideways at $80 for a little while. I think it's going to keep doing that. Resistance, though, has moved up to 85, which is nice to see for this week. But it's still a bit in that sort of 80 to 85 zone. After today, we should see markets move a bit more freely. After the Friday, after the 18th, we should see markets move a bit more freely as the options expire. But at the moment, this looks pretty sweet. Support at, here, that red line there, 76. Resistance in that sort of 80 to 85 range. So expect a bit of sideways action if you ask me. Now the chat seems to have broken on my end. Like so Felix can get a mic, says George. Is it that bad? Is it? Okay. This is actually a different mic. I kid you not. Yesterday we were using this mic. Today we're using that mic. So it seems to be something software related, not hardware related, which is a bit of a bummer because it's hard to fix. So buying new stuff's easier, isn't it? So yeah, there we are. So things are looking pretty sweet. Let's have a glance at the Bloomberg headlines for the morning. Let's look at the US edition here, which says Morgan Stanley joins Wall Street's trading banking windfall because you can make money trading, a lot of money trading, which is what the banks do. Come and learn with us how we do that, and I'll teach you. Watch our masterclass here that I put together for you. 35 minutes. You learn how to spot breakouts. You learn how to spot those big moves before they happen. FelixPrehn.org/get free. Check it out after the stream. ASML shows the diverging fortunes of chip makers. I wouldn't be surprised if there was just it's the export restrictions. I think that's what it is, but we'll find out more. U.S. mortgages rates climb a little bit. Big tech has our attention. Blah blah blah. Europe, Hyundai. That's it, really. Oh, vaccines. Vaccines are gonna work. Yeah, it's all about vaccines. Who's Mike? I like that, Danzo. Thanks for keeping us entertained. Come and join and watch the masterclass at felixfriends.org/get free. That's really what this is all about, getting financial freedom. It's completely free of charge. Check it out. Is the mic wireless? It is. Yes, it is. It always has worked. I've tried different cables. Nothing has really been added in the vicinity of the device, so it is a bit of a weird one. But yeah, they are wireless, but they're usually very, very good. And the weird thing is it records onto this mic, right? The wave file. And that also has the audio issue. So it's something weird. It's something software-y or hardware-y or something. So very, very bit weird. Cat claw can puncture the wire. Blame the cats if in doubt. I've tried a few wires, so it's probably not that. But we'll figure it out. I appreciate your feedback on that. And I love you for watching. I love you for tuning in. Check out the masterclass, as I say, and entertain yourselves with that for the next 30 minutes at felixprehn.org/get-free. Learn how we spot those big, juicy breakouts. And I look forward to seeing you